Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Decades of Cooking, where we will be taking a little adventure in cooking. It's simple, it's easy, it's effortless, and it is delicious. Decade, effortlessly delicious. Today we're going to explore one of our favorite recipe, favorite Caribbean recipe, favorite everybody's recipe, which is oxtail. We're going to stew some oxtail, and that is going to be done by my mom. So as you sit back, enjoy, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Decades of Cooking, as my mom shows us one of her recipes that she uses for this very popular oxtail recipe. So today we're going to begin with at least about 2 to 3 pounds of oxtail. It is done at the you buy it in the store. Ensure that it's thawed out. You can wash it with some water and vinegar to clean it out. And once you've done that, we're going to marinate it, or as we say, season it, to ensure that the flavors get into the oxtail. So first and foremost, we're going to start with our salt. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. We have some soy sauce here. It could be any brand of soy sauce. We're not specific as to which brand of soy sauce we're going to use. But you're going to take another 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. And then in addition to that, we're also going to use our pestonade, and we're using the red pestonade. And the pestonade is something that Decade Foods, which is our brand, our product that we produces. And you can get it on our website at www.deckadefoods.com. It is packed with flavors. It's a very flavorful product. Has all the about 12 to 13 different fresh herbs and spices, all mixed together in a bottle with no additives. So you can use that too in that. And lastly, we're going to grate 5 cloves of garlic into our mixture. So once we have all of these added into our oxtail, we're going to mix it around, ensure that everything is mixed. You can use a spoon, a wooden spoon or a plastic spoon to mix it around, or you can put your gloves on and get your hand in there, and mix it around. But she's just using her wooden spoon today to mix everything. Just make sure everything is coated nicely. Once this is done, you can stick it in the fridge for probably a day. Overnight if you want to, or you can put it in for a few hours or even an hour if you just want to do it so that it can take the flavor. You can do it for an hour, 2 hours, how long, but certainly overnight would give it the best of flavors. All right, so say we're continuing the next day or an hour later, we get a nice deep pot. You can use a stainless steel pot. You can use one of those any pot that you think is you have in your possession. You can use that. And in addition to that, you just light up your stove and put it on there. Let the pot get hot. Let the heat penetrate. Let it get really hot. So once the pot is hot, let's say about 2 minutes, I would say leave it on the burner for about 2 minutes. You start adding in your oxtail. You can put it in a piece at a time, or you can just pour it in like she's doing. And as you pour it in, you should hear that sizzling sound, that sizzle. Every time you put it in, because the pot is hot, it's sizzling. So at the same time, it's searing the oxtail in the pot. So just do that, and once you've done that, you can just give it a first move around in the pot. So once she adds that, then she goes in and she adds 2 tablespoons of, that's one of her favorite things to use in all her recipes, tomato paste. Not the sauce, but paste. So about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. You add it to the oxtail, and then you mix it around. So once when she's mixed it around with the tomato paste, the very famous gravy brownie, and you can use any brand. This is the Grace brand, the gravy brownie. There are many different brands out there. You can go to the store. It is actually caramelized sugar. You could do it yourself, but she prefers to do it. So she adds about, I would say about 2 teaspoons of it. Mix it around, and it depends on your liking. Some people like their meat really, really brown, so you can add more. And some people like their meat not so brown, kind of on the medium side. So you can just add. First start with the 2 teaspoons of the gravy browning and mix it around. If you think it's brown enough to your liking, just go ahead and leave it. You just from there you continue mixing the gravy browning around with the meat, the oxtail. Ensure that everything is properly coated. Every once in a while you take your spoon and you pass it in the bottom. It's making its own. As you do that, it's still on very high heat. So it's searing while it forms its own gravy while searing. And so you just continue every once in a while, pass the spoon in the bottom of it so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And so after about half an hour, we're going to continue adding more ingredients. So now it's about half an hour of searing with the gravy browning and just the seasonings that we had put in earlier, the marinade. And so now where you see the consistency of the meat has already started changing because it's kind of getting cooked now, but it's very hard and it takes a while for oxtail to get soft. So now that you've done that, you see the brown color that it's from, that is the color that we want. So here from there we're going to add our other ingredients. So we're going to continue, and now we're going to add, it's half an hour, our oxtail is brown, she's browned it, and again that's my mom's recipe that we're following, and so she has all her other ingredients that she's going to add to it now to prep it. And so we just, here they are. We have the onions, we have one yellow whole onion chopped, we have again some more garlic that we've grated. That's about 3 more cloves of garlic. We have a bouillon cube. If you know what a bouillon cube is, you can do about half of a bouillon cube. We also have celery that she's chopped. My mom loves celery. She puts celery in everything. We have chives and the parsley, fresh parsley that we've chopped. We have the thyme, and then we have the red bell peppers and green bell peppers, and so we have our pimento pepper right there. Again, if you've been following our recipes, we always use pimento peppers. We call them seasoning peppers that are very flavorful. So we have that also. So we're going to add this to our browned and start to cook oxtail. So before we add our fresh herbs in there, the first thing we're going to do is, now that it's about half an hour, we're going to add the water. You can say about 3 to 4 cups of water depending on how much oxtail you have in your pot, but I would just say, to be precise, I would say add water to cover the oxtail, just like we're doing. Make sure the oxtail itself is covered. So we're going to use our flexible chopping board, and I tell anybody, get that. This is one of the easiest things. You just take it and pour it into your oxtail mixture. So all your vegetables are in there, and then once you've done that, my mom's secret ingredient, and I'm sure some people do, but remember, my mom comes from old school, back in the days when we didn't have pressure cooker yet and all these things, and we had to cook fresh beef that would take a long time. And so a lot of these ladies like my mom have developed their technique of easily making their meat get soft, and the magic ingredient for that is baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. So you're going to use about a teaspoon of baking powder in there. You just pour it in, you put it in the gravy and let it just fizzle out, whatever you want to call it. Let it boil out, and then once you've done that, then you reduce your heat to medium low or even low, because you just want that meat to slowly cook. The slower it cooks is the more tender it becomes, and the faster it becomes more tender. And also, you don't want to make your gravy dry up. You want your gravy to infuse in the meat as it boils. So reduce that meat, very important, to low or medium low heat, depending on what type of stove you have. I say a flame heat, probably medium low, electric heat, probably low. Just really reduce it. You just want it to slowly simmer in the pot. So you don't need to do anything. Every once in a while you check it to ensure that it's not sticking in the bottom. Just turn it around in the pot. Other than that, there is nothing. You taste for salt, and if again, I don't like using too much salt, but if you're one of those persons who want a little more salt, you can adjust yourself. But remember, if you put too much, you can't remove. If you don't have enough, you can always add. So you do that. So after 2.5 hours of just slow cooking, this is what our oxtail looks like. We've just we checked it once, we checked it twice. As you can see, and now we've just turned off the stove. You can see the fat is just rendered down. The meat is very tender. The gravy is just brown. All the vegetables, fresh veggies and herbs that we added have all dissolved in there and flavored up that gravy. All you want to do is just skim out the fat when you're ready to serve it and use the gravy. This is tender, delicious oxtail. So once we've completed, we can serve it with some nice steamed cabbage and carrot. And you can also follow a recipe for that steamed cabbage and carrot recipe, and some rice and peas in coconut, a really just moist coconut rice and peas with the traditional oxtail. And there you have it. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to our channel. Again, do your variations of it. This is my mom's Big Mama's. I just would love sharing these recipes with you, so do enjoy and subscribe, and look for us for other recipes in Dekkades of Cooking. Bye.